Alright, what do we got going on around here? Chapter 3. Na 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 na. Okay. Tomorrow, the dreaded midterms will finally begin. I studied military science with Eustace and Gaius. I'm not used to all these military symbols, but we went over infantry, headquarters, armor, and engineer. I'll have to make sure I've got them all down before the exams. Beryl prophesized what would come up on the Orbital Science exam. She's definitely just guessing. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to keep it in mind. Instructor Makarov helped me review some aspects of orbital science that I wasn't feeling great about. Instructor Mary helped me study some aspects of art that I wasn't feeling confident about. I learned a handy method of efficient memorization by listening to Hugo and Becky argue. Patches tomorrow. I guess tonight I should probably, get some tombstones so I can get a reward for that. Make sure I do that since it ends when the patch comes, I suppose. Some mogstones. I learned a handy method of efficient memorization by listening to Hugo and Becky argue. I studied orbital science with Elliot and Machias. Battle orbments' key features are as follows. The orbital energy inside them replenishes over time. They synchronize with their user, strengthening their abilities and allowing them to use arts. Their capabilities change depending on what quartz are set inside them. Instructor Thomas helped me study against my will. I read a book called Political Economics, a primer, in the library. And then I got thrown out for leaving a library book out in the rain to get ruined. I studied with Lind and Vivi for a while. I studied Erebonian history with Fee and Emma. The War of the Lions concluded in year 952 of the Septian calendar. Questions involving years seem really likely to come up in the exam. Hopefully Emma's method will work. Marvel vs. Capcom style. Toa and Angelica taught me about political economics. Apparently the Financial Transactions Act, Imperial Transportation Act, and Provisional Taxation Act are three recent and important laws. It might be good to note that on the Imperial Transportation Act was enacted in Heimdall before being introduced anywhere else. Crow and George helped to brush me up on my practical skills. Apparently the correct procedure to perform CPR is as follows. Check if the person is conscious, call for help in a loud voice, check if the person is breathing, perform chest compressions and rescue breaths. This is useful knowledge for more than just exams, so I better make sure I remember it. You know, in case somebody chokes on their chicken. I read a book called Erebonian History and Pictures in the literature club room. I read a book called Erebonian Opera and Paintings in the music room. I read a book called Military Science, a Primer in the gymnasium. I studied art with Elisa and Laura. We asked each other questions on the following drawing styles. Dessen, using monochrome lines and differing brush techniques to draw an object and outline its tones. Sketch, portraying a subject roughly without much in the way of detail. Croquis, a faster, simpler form of sketching. Sketchy referee style. As I left the main building, I was greeted by a mysterious woman in a maid uniform. She seemed to know my name, too. Neo-Ishgardian style. I ran into Elisa, who was also on her way back to the dormitory, so we decided to walk together. As we walked, we talked about her family and Fee's past, but she seemed strangely interested in the woman who greeted me earlier. And then the next day, we found out why. Burrito style. Everybody likes burritos. Just like everybody loves the acclaimed. June 16th, Wednesday, to June 19th, Saturday, midterm examinations. Our 4 days of midterm hell had finally arrived. We were tested on all of our subjects. Erebonian history, art, military science, orbital science, political economics, and practical skills. Somehow, though, I managed to work my way through the questions on every... You mean all the questions on every exam? Rain's still not the best writer, but that's okay. We'll forgive him for it, I guess. When we met for homeroom after, it was all over. Everyone was clearly exhausted. There was little time for us to rest, though, since Instructor Sarah had already lined up a practical exam and field study for this month. I like to do a lot of my free days, but tomorrow I'm going to rest. We were on our way back to the dormitory when we were greeted by the maid who spoke to me yesterday. Even more surprising, it turned out that she's a servant of the Rhineford family, as in the owner of Erebonia's largest heavy industry company. Who'd have thought Elisa would have all that clout? June 20th, Sunday, free day. We began our free day by watching Elisa and Sharon. I couldn't help but smile at how well they got along, not that Elisa would ever admit it. We then played some Marvel vs. Capcom and beat Hasty Steven 10 times in a row. I received a request from George and Angelica regarding the Orbital bike. I decided to take care of that before going over to the schoolhouse. We got some quizests. I'm all alone. See if we got any new character. Ooh, Sharon's new. Any new profiles? Sharon. Maid, Class 7 Dormitory's caretaker. An exceptionally skilled maid sent by the Rhineford family. Supports Class 7 as their dormitory's caretaker. Cody, Oh, Clara's done now, apparently. Natural talent. She seems to be able to score decently in exams without studying at all, and uses that time for art instead. You say so, man. Dorothy. Dorothy Hamilton, even. Good team for Teresia. While Emily is better at sports, Teresia is better at studying. She helped Emily study for the midterms. That was nice of her. Adele style. Casper's done. Paula. Those lips on Margarita, though. Holy beep. What in the hell? What in the hell? Beavis and Butthead, you old bastards! Get the hell out of here! You're expelled, you sons of bitches! Rhineford, daughter of the chairman of the Rhineford Company, the Empire's largest heavy industry corporation. Bastard son. Eustace's mother was a commoner, a fact that soured the relationship with his father, Duke Alberea. Jaeger member. When Fee was younger, she used to be a member of a Jaeger Corps. That's too bad. You hate to see it happen. You really do. Anybody here? There is somebody here. Oh, it's probably... Yep, it's Sharon. How you doing? Take care while you're out, Master Reen. I shall be sure to prepare a tremendous feast for all of you while you're away. I'll be looking forward to it. By the way, is what happened this morning pretty indicative of how things usually are between you and Elisa? At a glance, it seems like you were arguing, but if you paid attention, you could tell that wasn't the case. Precisely. We have been together for quite a while now. As such, it was such a relief to see that she is very much the same as she always was. Sharon seems she knows how to handle any sort of situation. I can see why she has no trouble dealing with Elisa, at least. Please, come to me should you have any requests. I will do everything I can to accommodate your wishes, especially since you're so close a friend to Lady Elisa. I'll keep that in mind. Oh yes, your instructor also happens to stay here, does she not? She sure does. I should formally introduce myself to her when she returns. I don't know about all that, but you never know. Anybody upstairs? Nope, nobody's upstairs. Complete your student council tasks. I should get right on that, shouldn't I? It would be a good idea. Laura's in the general store. What the beep? Do. What do we got going on around here? Kurt loves his sweets. His favorites are berry tarts, so he's always asking me to make some. Heh, how about you try your hand at making one sometime? We got the recipe for berry tart. Harrison's at work and Kurt's off to Sunday school. I do hope they both have good days today. When they get back, I'll have a delicious meal waiting for them. Kurt! Angle! Okay. We got a new recipe, but berry tart. Apparently, I'm not very good at making it. But Elisa is. And so's Emma. Takes fresh eggs, starberry, honey syrup, assorted grains, clear gelatin, and hearty powder. Dear God in heaven. We need more assorted grains.
Okay, let's give this a try. There we go.
Berry tart.
Okay, let's give this a try.
See if we can make the peculiar one.
There we go.
Apparently not. Apparently it's just not allowed.
Okay, let's give this a try. There we go. Okay, let's give this a try. Wow, that came out well.
Luxury tart. Not what I was thinking of, but okay.
Okay, let's give this a try. Wow, that came out well.
The only one worse at making it than me is freaking Gaius.
Okay, let's give this a try.
But he's not here, so...
What even is this?
Alum tart. Alum tart. A simple yet stylish tart. Restores 1200 HP. Art strength up by 25%. For 5 turns. And what about the other thing? Luxury tart. A luxurious tart topped with a variety of different fruits. Restores 2800 HP. Cures petrify. You gotta appreciate that. Muldoon style. What's happening at the old pawn shop? Crow's here. Yeah, how you feeling about your first midterms? Well, I think I passed at the very least. How about you? Sitting slightly above average, I think. Would have gone better if I could have gotten my hands on a list of the test questions in advance, though. He was gonna cheat like Tim. Damn. I should have seen if Old Man Mick was good for it. You know, I really doubt he'd have something like that for sale. I don't know, man. The pretty cool things end up making their way into the shop sometimes. Old Man Mick's an interesting guy, so I wind up coming here pretty often. Somehow I don't doubt that at all. Not even a little bit. You looking for Sarah? She's not going to be back till later. Oh, so you already knew she wasn't in Trista? Nope. Real convincing there, Mick. If you've got time to stand around staring at me, you've got time to go back to your dorm and study. Don't get complacent just because midterms are over. The next exam's going to blindside you otherwise. Pretty much. Do, 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 do. You still need this more of this bullshit. Do 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 do. Oh, we can get this now. A better version of we can get Petrify. Attacks crafts can petrify enemies. 10% chance. Do 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 do. Anything else? We can get Freeze! Attacks crafts can freeze enemies, 10% chance. We can get Effort. Effort? That's new. You need, like, food. Gives a 70% chance to make a superb dish when cooking. That's interesting. And it lets you use Tira as well. So that's something. We can get Burn. Attacks crafts can burn enemies, 10% chance. We can get Prankster. Requires solid omelet, ooze cookie, yellow liquid, and bitter sandwich. Gives a 70% chance to make a peculiar dish when cooking. And lets you use Flame Tongue, whatever that is. We can get Sleep. Attacks crafts can put enemies to sleep, 10% chance. We can get Action 1. I'll take that. Speed up by 3. Not a bad thing. We need one more Soul Blur to get Impede 1. Need more EP1s for that, which I think we can just get trade for this, right? Yay, now we can get an EP2. EP up by 100. Very nice. So sometimes you can do that kind of dealio. Bum 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 bum. Crest. We can get the better crest. Which brings defense up by 5 and HP up by 50. Mind if I do. We can get a better Frost Edge. Which brings art defense up by 5 and art strength up by 3. We can get a Thalos R. Brings EP up by 40 as well. It's definitely cool. Prankster. We can get Forte R. Strength up by 5. It's cool. Bum 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 bum. Nah, nah, nah. We don't even have dark matter, sir. So I don't know what you're talking about. We can get a better luminous ray. Which has EP up by 20, art strength up by 4. Analyze brings art strength up by 3. Do 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 do. Wah 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 wah. Okay. Well, whoa, wait. Inspect curios. See if there's anything new here. Not particularly. Nothing we really need to be concerned with. Carlton Sheets style.
Hello, I'm Carlton Sheets. I began my real estate investing career more than 30 years ago with the belief that I could create wealth and achieve success in real estate.
Loose meat sandwiches. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. It's me. What's with the stern look, Fee? Turns out I'll be growing some flowers for the club. But I need to go and get the tools. I see. Sounds tough. Kind of rare to see you this serious about something, though. It happens. Sometimes. Should I give her a hand? Of course you should. Don't be a jerk. Would you like me to help you out? Sure. Have fun. I wasn't offering to do it for you, Fee. Aww. Given how many types of plants there are, you've got no shortage of options. Have you got an idea of what you want to raise? Yep. Fee took out a small bag filled with seeds and showed it to Reen. Oh, what are these? Flower seeds. Don't know what they're called, though. Someone gave them to me when I was in the Corps. Had them ever since. Ah. Do you know how to raise them, then? Yep, they told me how. They were kind of joking about raising them with love. I don't know if that was a joke. My mom says the same thing about the plants she grows in our kitchen. So does Adele. I don't know much about love, though. Then maybe this is the right time for you to try and raise them. But man, your core sounds so different from the image I've always had in my head. How so? The way you tell it, you sound like one big family in a sense. I always thought Jaegers were, well, a bit more violent and bloodthirsty, I guess. Maybe I was just being narrow-minded, though. Can't blame you. Mac and Cheetos? What the beep? Can't do that on television. Can't even do that on pay-per-view. Everyone's more concerned about the negative reputation Jaegers have than anything else. There's some people who can't even accept their existence. What do you mean? Nothing. Let's hurry up and buy the tools and fertilizer. Good idea. I've never seen those seeds before, so Let's ask Jane for some advice on the best way to raise them. I hiccuped. Reen and Phoebe bought the tools and fertilizer they needed, after which they made their way back to the Academy's flower bed to plant the seeds. Cool. That should do it. They should bloom in a few months if I raise them right. I hope they grow up big and strong. Me too. Oh, also, thanks for the help. Huh, anytime. Your bond with Fee strengthened. 500 experience. Level up! Reen and Fee reached Link level 3 the first level 3. Cover and counterattack. Oh, that's cool. I guess some characters have different things as far as that goes. That's neat. Hasty Steven style. They should bloom in a few months if I raise them right. I don't know if I can, though. You'll do fine, trust me. I suppose. Of course, it brought us way back over here, so we want to go back here. I have a system, you know. Ah! I guess the new girl's finished planting her seeds then. Don't worry, I'm sure they'll bloom into some very pretty flowers. Flowers will always respond to those who take good care of them, after all. And finally, there's the florist and the boutique owners. Alright, I've compiled a list of every single cute girl in Trista. Oh boy. I'm really jealous of how often your class gets to travel. It would be amazing if our club could travel around the Empire, taking photos as we went. Wouldn't it, though? Heard a story of a singer who berated a disc jockey for not playing their music. I bet it was Chad Kroger. But given our limited budget, the best we can manage would be a trip to Heimdall. Yeah, well. I spotted a maid I've never seen before cleaning the streets this morning. I wonder which of the upper-class students she serves. The fact that she showed up now rather than at the beginning of the academic year strikes me as a rather odd, however. Maybe it was Smoothhead Records. In fact, it probably was. Mr. Clean style. Ah, this part of the burrito is hard for some reason. That's annoying. Colette! Yay, all the new summer fashions are in stock and ready to be bought. Not only that, but there's this huge clearance sale on their spring lineup. Wait a minute. If I buy these and save them for next year, I could save myself a real bundle. I'm a genius. Indeed. They didn't want to play Chocolate Brown Eyes. Gotta be one of the funniest names to a song I've ever heard in my life. It's gradually getting warmer now that the rainy season is coming to an end. It's a friendly reminder that summer is fast approaching. As it so happens, we have the latest summer fashions in stock, so please explore our lineup at your leisure. I shall. Oh, there's something new. Orange cape. A vivid orange-colored cape, strength up by 15, prevents faint. Kurio. One of those. Prismatic cape. A colorful cape that shines in 7 different colors. Art strength up by 15, prevents confuse. We got capes. Apparently capes are in style here in Erebonia. Mucker Feather. What do we got here? There's like pictures of pants and different styles and such. It's like that time Vegastar went into a boutique and the cashier told him that his clothes were way out of style, so he got salty and quit. Melinda. If there's one thing you need every day, it's make food. Which means you need to brave the elements and head out to buy ingredients every day, too. Doing so takes courage, to be sure, but what part of being a housewife doesn't? You got me there. Laura's in the general store for some reason. It's Brandon! Not quite Brandon Cutler, but what you gonna do? That Becky girl's a pretty good worker for her age. Ha ha ha. I like the cut of her jib. Think I'll give her a little bonus. Being able to cheer other folks up, always a good thing in my books. I think Becky just got a raise. I remember one time I worked in a recycling plant, and I ended up getting a raise, right. and the raise was for like, I think it was like 15 cents or something. Didn't make much difference, but it did exist. Becky seems pretty disappointed by how she did on the midterms. I tried to help her study, I really did, but she wasn't having it. I suppose she's the type to be completely unaware of the trouble she's in until something bad happens. That's a shame. Who are you, Mr. Clean, or the guy from Smoothhead Records? Wait a minute, speaking of discs, those CD decorations. Are you the one who beat up my partner? What if I am? Need to cross my T's, dot my I's, that's all. What? Rude style. Oh no, I didn't do so well on those exams. Maybe I should have listened to Hugo and studied a wee bit more. Man, I didn't expect it to be that hard. That's too bad. Sweet cookies. Should probably buy some more assorted grains. That'd probably be a good idea. Otherwise, just the same old bullshit. Do-do-do-do-do. Alright, Laura, what are you doing here in the general store? Come on, man. Oh, hello, Rain. It's rare to see you here by yourself. What's up? I actually found myself rather interested in this store's wares, so I decided to browse for a while. I'm surprised at how enjoyable it's been. Should I join her? Abso-freaking-lutely! We're gonna spend time with old Laura. Mac and Cheetos style. Mind if I join you? Feel free. Maybe this would be a good chance to have you tell me more about the things being sold here. Well, I don't know all that much about them myself, but you know. They have a wide variety of items here on display. Most of which I'm unfamiliar with. What is a Hot Pocket? I've never heard of that. Which leads to a question I'd like to ask you, Rain. What sort of goods and accessories do girls my age tend to like? What? I ask because, well, I've noticed that there's a significant difference between myself and the other girls here. For example, I went shopping with Monica recently, only to find myself searching for equipment to keep my sword in shape. Meanwhile, Monica was fawning over cute accessories and the like. Doesn't this prove that I'm rather strange? Well, you're from different class backgrounds for one thing. That's a difference between you already. But even amongst the other nobles, you are a little bit different. Pretty much.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Just as I thought. But this is of no issue. If there's something I lack, then all I need to do is take the opportunity to learn. Now tell me, which of the items here would most likely grab a girl's attention? I mean, I'm not exactly a pool expert on the subject, but... Look at that thing. Reen grabbed a cute mascot plush that was sitting on the shelf. How about this Mishi plush? He's a pretty popular character over in Crossbell. Maybe we'll learn more about that in Zero. Fascinating. He's certainly charming, to say the least. But how about this? Laura grabbed a strap with a blue-haired muscular man attached to it. Muscular man? This Dogi character has a rather gallant look to him, doesn't he? Dogi! It's an East reference, ladies and gentlemen! That is so epic. I'm 100% sure that most girls wouldn't have any interest in him. Ho ho ho! You know, just video game nerds. Oh, this is more challenging than I had expected. Ho ho ho! Reen and Laura ended up looking at an assortment of products appealing to Laura's unique tastes. In the end, it didn't even matter, though they ended up purchasing the Mishi plush. I want the Dogi thing! That's what I want. I couldn't be more grateful for your assistance, Reen. If it weren't for you, I never would have purchased something so nice. Haha, not a problem. Still, my grasp on what other girls my age like remains tenuous. I may need to cross my T's and dot my I's. It seems I have a long and harsh path ahead of me if I'm ever to truly know. You know, you don't have to force yourself to be like everyone else. Because you aren't like everyone else. You are who you are, and that's exactly why we like you. Damn right. You've given me a lot to think about today. Well, let me thank you once again. I'd like for us to go shopping again if you ever have the time. Sure, that would be fun. Damn right it would. I'm there, dude. Your bond with Laura strengthened. Levelage! Reen and Laura reached Link Level 3. She has cover. Cover rocks. I guess some characters have cover, some have counterattack. I feel kind of relieved, thanks in part to you. We should do this again if we get the chance. Indeed we should. Mucker Futher. Smoothhead style. Trista Station! There's no need to go into the train station right now. Oh, there's all the need in the world. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's go to the radio station. Too bad there's not a milk station and a half-and-half station. That'd be cool. Michael's over here as always. Orbital radios weren't nearly as common 3 years ago as they are now. It was a real struggle when I first started Radio Trista. There was this other station called Comedy Adventure Studios that were taking over the radio waves. To build up a little listenership, I used to sell radios for super cheap at bars and places like that. Man, brings back memories. I bet the CASF tried to take over this radio station as well. Freaking jerks. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Welcome to Radio Trista, home of the ever-popular Ab in Time. Our listenership is through the roof with how popular Misty is. She's much more popular than Mitch. And Joel. The director is, of course, overjoyed by this. I'm happy for him. That's cool. Trista radio station. I hear they're working on getting the rights to the Radio Shopping Club. And they'll start airing episodes of that. Do. They're gonna buy the rights to it from CAS 106. David style. Bum 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 bum. How you doing? How you doing, Dolly? Dolly Parton? Everyone's looking so cheerful now that they finished their midterms. I think some of those smiles might be turned upside down before long, though. Results day at Thor's tends to do that. Oh, that... A lot of people are probably going to realize that they got Fs. And their parents are going to ground them from their Nintendos. Old Man Abbott. I started listening to that newfangled Orbital radio recently. It's quite the contraption. It'll even tell you the news. It feels a bit more personal to hear someone discussing the news than reading about it in the Imperial Chronicle. I was listening to this show where these two guys, Mitch and Barn, were going on and on about some kind of fireworks. I didn't understand what was going on. Yeah. It's right, said Fred. Yo, you hungry? You don't want to be one of those students who gets heat stroke or whatever right after their midterms, do ya? Get some eats to beat the heat. Okay. Roasted coffee and crispy pizza, as always. We don't need that nonsense. Bum ba bum. Nobody's upstairs. Nobody knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind blue eyes. Maybe we got some new books. Some new books that we better not leave out in the rain. So how do you feel now that midterms are done with? Don't make the mistake of thinking that you don't have to study now that the exams are over. I'd recommend going over your answers to see where and how you went wrong when you get your test back and why you got so many questions wrong. Because you're an idiot. I mean, what? Dude, we got new books, ladies and gentlemen. Still got the Manly Munchies, for whatever reason. Intermediate Chess. Okay. A chess handbook for intermediate level players. That'd be funny if they sold the Vegastar Guide to Quitting. A teaching primer. A book that explains the best way to teach others. Imperial Horsemanship. A textbook on traditional Erebonian horsemanship. Nice. We got some new books. Bum 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 bum. The Art of Napping. Intermediate Chess. Glance through Intermediate Chess. I think this book might be a little bit too high level for me. I should ask Machias about this stuff. We get 50 experience with Machias. We're not very good at chess. What? A teaching primer. Glance through a teaching primer. This book seems pretty handy. I should talk about it with Emma sometime. 50 experience with Emma. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Imperial Horsemanship. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Glance through Imperial Horsemanship. This book has a lot of good information on horse riding. I should talk about it with Eustace if I get the chance. 50 experience with Eustace. Good times being had here in the Mushroom Kingdom. Alright. Now that we've got our literature on... Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So it looks like ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Wanna go over here, see what's going on. Maybe we can get a substitute teacher gig again. That would be cool. Except probably not. How you doing, Melissa? We really do owe Klein. He's a very good teacher, so Emil's always happy to have him visit. He's always there to listen to Emil's worries and give him advice, too. He even gave him advice on how to beat 2-3 in Chaos Control. We'd be lost without him. Yeah. That 2-3 can be a struggle, I'll tell you what. Klein will be here to tutor me today. Sunday school is far too easy for me to waste my time with, so I need a tutor to keep me mentally stimulated. Though because I don't attend all I have to do most days is sit in my room and study. We're then gonna play some EDF and try and kill the dragon together. Fishing time! Do 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 do. Deluxe rod style. What do we got over here?
Not bad.
Rock Eater. Not new, but nice. Wii! Nintendo Wii! Another sword tail, not a big deal, but we'll catch it anyway. Because Reason's chocolate chew.
Not bad.
Sword tail. It's a good way to get some extra Sepith. Mario Maniac style. Do 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 do.
Caught one.
Caught one. Whee! We're fishing. Do 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 do. This wouldn't be a Trails game without fishing. I'll tell you what. Yay!
Not bad.
Another Rock Eater. A relatively big one. One more.
Denied.
Do 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 do.
Caught one.
Costigan. Alright. Good times being had here in that damn Mushroom Kingdom. Do 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 do. How you doing? Sunday school is currently in session. Even the mischievous children seem to be studying hard at the moment. I hope that I'm able to get along with them all soon enough. I wonder if you can get a detention in Sunday school. That'd be funny. How you doing? The conflict between the noble and reformist factions continues to pervade every aspect of our country. And now rumors are spreading that they plan to take up arms against one another. What a sad state of affairs. I can only hope that our children won't suffer because of this. Indeed. They're having Sunday school, didn't you know? I think they're singing hymns. Right, Rudy? Rudy Charles? Huh? I forgot what Sis asked me to get for dinner. Guess I'll go ask her after Sunday school's over. Looks like I'm not gonna have time to hang out with Kay today. That's too bad. Speaking of Kay, just seeing a book makes me want to hurl. Looks like Emil ain't showing up today either. Man, what a jerk. Just because he's a bit smarter than the rest of us, he thinks he's too cool for Sunday school. That's too bad. What an a-hole. Tizel, could you please be quiet, Kay? You're distracting me. Also, you got the very first question wrong. How can it be so hard for you to understand basic stuff like this? Shut up! Classic. It's Annie. I know. The answer's 6. I think the Kish Fenny... The Kish Fenny is what I said! Those words actually came out of my mouth. My God. What a Freudian slip that was, ladies and gentlemen. I think the fish Kenny made me smarter. There you go. Jeez, learn to read, am I right? Damn. That was terrible. It's Kurt. Angle. I get to hear a story about the goddess Adios today. I love hearing stories about Adios. He put his book down. Like he's someone special. Sunday school is in session today. Is there any joy greater than passing wisdom from one generation to the next? Well now, it's time for another fun day of learning. Who's ready to learn? I don't think Hasty Steven's ready to learn at all. I really don't think so. It's the Black Kitty! Celine! Okay, that was the cutest sound I think I've ever heard in my life. Good God. Give her fresh milk again. Okay. Not sure what this actually does, but you get a little affinity, I guess, with Celine the cat, for whatever that's worth. She seems so happy. Maybe I'll bring her some more another time. Don't know like what effect that has, if any, but it's just nice to do. It's nice to do things for the kitties and such. Phew, finally done. Now I can head out for the day. Heimdall's only 30 minutes away by train, so maybe I'll hang out there for a while. And then maybe we'll go to Nebraska and catch a Huskers game. I hear they're playing Illinois, but they're probably going to lose like they usually do. Monk! Everyone's so busy with their clubs these days. Heh, that's perfect. I want everyone to make the most of their youth. Laughter, tears, nerves, romance. It's all potential material to me. Okay. If you say so. There's no reason to head past here. Let's just face facts. We're never gonna get up there. That's just the way it is. Why even try? God damn it. Okay, good times. How you doing? I hear that your dormitory now has its own caretaker. I also hear that she's incredibly skilled, especially when it comes to cooking. Well, she's not going to outshine me. I also hear Vegastar quit again because he couldn't get the vacuum cleaner to work right. Deluxe herb chowder. There you go. Please allow me to return the favor. Let me get 5 tear bombs. I'm okay with that. Wah. Hey, how you doing, Celestin the butler? I hear that one of the Reinford family maids is now stationed at Class 7's dormitory. She is said to have a marvelous work ethic. I would have expected no less from a maid of such an esteemed family. As servants of highly respected families, I believe it would be enjoyable for the two of us to get to know each other. Uh-huh. I mean, you both have blue hair, so that's something. Bum 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 bum. Where do we need to go for that side quest anyway? I don't even remember. Oh, behind the storage building. Okay. Right.